Hey guys, what's going on everybody? My name's Blitzwinger and welcome back to a brand new Blitz News video, and today we're going to be discussing all of the characters that we know of so far in LEGO Marvel's Superheroes 2. I of course have already made one of these types of videos a little while back. You guys showed it awesome support, so once again, if we could hit over 1,500 likes, that would be super duper sweet. Smash that like button, and with that in mind, let's strap in and take a look at our entire roster of characters so far. So before I get to the new characters, which by the way, if you don't know, like, hey Blitz, where are you taking all these new characters from? Well, there was an official trailer that was just released. Technically, it was supposed to be out on Tuesday. It was delayed. There's a lot of stories about that, but nevertheless, let's just get into the actual character side of things. So that trailer gave us a lot of brand new characters, but before I get to that, I want to just quickly, I'm not going to give my opinions on it or anything like that, but I'm going to quickly run through the characters that we already know of, because maybe some of you guys weren't caught up to this point, so you're like, hey, I didn't know that this character was in it or this character was in it. So up until this point, we were aware of the following characters. We knew that we were going to get Spider-Man 2099. We knew that we were going to get the Planet or World War Hulk, the Armored Hulk, let's put it that way. Then the Western Captain America, Rocket Raccoon, along with Baby Groot, Black Panther, Spider-Gwen, Captain Marvel, and Doctor Strange. Additionally to that, of course, since we know that Kang is the bad guy, we knew that he was confirmed as well. Plus, we had the knowledge of a few other characters confirmed when they said, for example, you'd be in the story details, they said you'd be running around as the Guardians of the Galaxy. So we didn't get pictures of those characters until this trailer, but we knew that they were, in fact, confirmed to be in the game. So other than that, that was kind of the main characters that we knew of. The teaser trailer also showed us Green Goblin, so that was cool, and a character that I suspect would be the leader, but a lot of people are saying that it's just a statue, so I'm not too sure which one we're gonna go with. So with that in mind, now let's discuss this official trailer and what it revealed, because it revealed a lot, and I mean a lot of characters. So let's get through them because there really is a ton to discuss. So first and foremost, we have kind of a very nice summary of many of the characters revealed at the very end of the trailer, where they have this really cool cinematic group shot of most of the characters standing there together. And in that shot, we can really see a lot of the characters very, very well, and it gives us a pretty good idea of everything that we're looking at. So first of all, we have the confirmation of Ant-Man. The cool thing about Ant-Man that I find very, very interesting is that in the trailer, we see that he will be able to go from small size to large size, which is cool. That makes sense. But the thing that really caught my attention even more was actually this end scene, this little end credit picture that we have of the characters, because he's about the same size as the Hulk, which I don't recall that scale ever being something that we've seen before. We've seen characters that were either very, very big, like Giant Man, for example, or Fin Fang Foom, characters like that, or we've seen Big Figs, which is a character the size of the Hulk. And then we've seen minifigures, which would be your typical scale. And finally, micro size, which is kind of the size that we see of like Baby Groot or Ant-Man could shrink down to that tiny little size. So this kind of makes me question, like, is he going to have 3 scales? Is he going to be able to be like huge, regular, tiny, and then medium? So I guess technically 4 scales. So that's very interesting. Is this just something that is done for this particular scene in this particular trailer, or will he be actually that size as compared to the characters? Or maybe he's just standing so far in the background that the perspective is playing mind games on our eyes. So from there, let's move right along to, once again, we have the confirmation of Black Panther. So the people who are like saying, oh, just because Black Panther is in the tree behind Rocket and Groot, that doesn't mean he's in the game. Well, now we know he's in the game. He's in this picture. He's in the trailer. So there we go. Hopefully now people will believe the fact that Black Panther is indeed in the game. So there you go. That has another confirmation for us. Now, for the folks that were concerned that we were only going to get one version of Captain America, which was the Western one, fear not, because as you can see in this trailer, we see the classic Captain America outfit will be indeed in the game. I will still, to this day, stand by the fact that I want to see at some point a Captain America minifigure that has the helmet as an actual piece, or like the mask as an actual piece, instead of just having it painted on. I think that would look really, really cool. I don't know why. I just feel like it would look really sweet. And I hope that at some point we actually get to see that type of design. But nevertheless, this is classic Cap. He looks great. And I think they executed him very, very well. From there, let's move on to Drax the Destroyer, who looks fantastic, has a very, very important moment in the trailer as well of comedy. So obviously, after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Drax is a big fan favorite, so it makes sense that they showcased him as prominently as they did. So very, very cool to see him. From there, continuing on with our Guardians of the Galaxy, the ones that were missing, we see Gamora as well in the trailer and in that little end scene as well. So she looks great. Looks like she's going to use katanas, which I'm sure Star-Lord will be happy about because, well, that would make sense to those of you that have seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So I'll just leave it at that. And then, speaking of Star-Lord, of course, he is also confirmed to be in the game. It is interesting, though, because, again, I am still very, very, very confused as to what this game will be in terms of, I get that it's going to be an original story. I understand that. I understand that they are going to Kang the Conqueror, and I understand all of those elements, but for some reason, I'm having a tough time figuring out, like, is this a movie-based game or is this a game that's just based on the Marvel Universe? Because when you look at Star-Lord, that very much looks like the minifigure that we see and have gotten in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 sets. So I am somewhat confused because of that. Like, which are they going with? So I'm still not too certain about which direction they're going with. And there will be another character reveal that I will talk about in just one moment that will further confirm my suspicions. So we'll see. What do you guys think? Is this going to be a movie-based game, or is it just that the comics are so inspired by the movies now, where oftentimes they look very much like their movie counterparts, and because of that, they're able to make these characters look somewhat of a almost amalgamation between the comics and the films, kind of a mix between the two. Best of both worlds, I guess. So from there, let's move on to Ego the Planet. Now, again, we do see his planet form. I assume that this planet will be playable because I think they wouldn't have shown it otherwise. I also assume we're probably going to get like a human form or like, a character form for him. So that would be really cool. I think the planet form looks awesome. Like, it looks very, very well done. I love the way that you can just tell that that is fully a brick built component. It just looks super sweet. Plus, just imagine floating around like a hub like New York City or something like that, or New York City 2099 as a giant purple planet with a mustache and a goatee. That is going to be hilarious. That is going to be awesome. And I cannot wait to try to do missions as Ego the Planet, like team up Baby Groot with Ego the Planet. That's a TV show waiting to happen. From there, let's hop on over to Hawkeye, who was, of course, obviously confirmed to be in the game because he's one of the prominent Avengers we see in the cinematic universe and also in the comics. So we obviously have a confirmation of him as well. And he had a pretty cool scene in the trailer where he shot like a little, or a suction arrow, whatever you would call that, right at Mysterio's butt. So if you haven't seen the trailer, check it out. I've done a reaction to that. From there, we have the Iron Man reveal. And my googly moogly, does this Iron Man look awesome. That helmet looks insanely cool. I'm not really sure which outfit it's supposed to be. I want to say it might be like the Marvel Now outfit, but I'm not 100% certain because it does have this like triangular face shape. So if you know exactly what mark or what armor it is, please let me know down in the comment section below because I would love to have specific confirmation as to what you think that might be. But the Iron Man figure looks awesome, and I was also very surprised that they did not feature him prominently because it seems like the game really is going to revolve mostly around the Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's a pretty pleasant surprise. From there, let's move right along to the next character, which would be Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan. She looks awesome. Looks like she's going to get a new hairpiece. I don't remember seeing that type of a hairpiece on any other Lego figure that I own personally, so I'm excited to see that thing in action, and hopefully that means that Lego will be adding a brand new hairpiece into their catalog of hair pieces as well. So that's just some geekery right there as far as being a geek on a Lego level. Now, from there, let's transition to Mysterio, who looks insanely cool. Please make this minifigure real. I want this minifigure so bad. That dome looks hilarious. Drax ragdolls him around the place, but he looks super duper cool, super duper goofy, and the cape, the old school, not sketchered, I guess. What's the word? Cross-worded type pattern on his outfit looks great as well. I cannot wait to see what kind of abilities he has. Hopefully he has some cool little combos with magic and stuff. I cannot wait to play as this guy. He's going to be very awesome. And it was very, very surprising to see him in this trailer because we saw a lot of other villains, but to see him, I was like, whoa, that's kind of surprising. I did not expect that. So very cool to see him. Now, from there, let's move on to our reconfirmation of, I guess, Spider-Gwen. So if you were wondering about that, she is indeed in the game. Spider-Man 2099 is also in the game because, again, we see him prominently displayed in that final shot. So that's very cool as well. Then we had a look at Thor. And again, this goes back to my surprise as to which look are they going for, because this is straight up the Thor minifigure that we're getting for the Thor Ragnarok Lego sets with the really cool helmet, which I'm not complaining about because that helmet is awesome. It is sweet. And I love this minifigure. They executed it very, very well. It looks awesome. But then it starts making me think about hey, is this then going to be based on the movie designs or not? So I get a little confused in that regard. And this is another one of those figures that makes me confused and makes me question which one are they going with? It's very, very difficult to understand and decide. Now, from there, we have also Vision, who looks pretty cool, seems to be, for the most part, about the same design that we have seen before for the Vision, but he does have some little interesting item, I don't know what that is actually, hanging off of his chest, kind of in the center of his chest. So I haven't read any of the recent issues of Vision, even though I've heard really, really good things, especially on the 2016, I think, run of the comic books for Vision storyline. I really do need to go back and get the trade paperbacks for that, but nevertheless, that's a story for another time. I really wonder what design that is going for, because again, it looks kind of like the Vision that we see in Avengers Age of Ultron, but then at the same time, or Avengers Civil War, either one, but what is that little extra piece that he has on the chest? Because if that's something that's inspired more by the comics, maybe this confirms that, of course, it's much more so based on the comic books. So with that in mind, now we have a little bit of bad guys to discuss, because there were quite a few bad guys revealed as well. And the main baddies would be, that we saw, other than Mysterio, would be Enchantress, who looks great, very well done. We have Loki, who was a pretty no-brainer type pick, so makes sense that we see him. And then we have Dr. Octopus, who looks fantastic. They've redone his tentacles. They look way, way cooler because they are proper, brick built. Every component of them seems to be brick built. And I love when they do that kind of thing because it makes you more immersed into a Lego world when they're using actual Lego pieces. And other reveals that we need to discuss are kind of more speculative in nature. So in the same scene that we see Loki, Enchantress, and Dr. Octopus having some sort of a coffee break, or maybe a tea break, where they're trying to figure out how to take over the world and destroy the Avengers and the other heroes of the world, we see a little servant right there next to them. I'm not really sure who that character is. Maybe that's one of the henchmen for, what's his face? Kang the Conqueror. So he looks kind of cool. They also show those characters getting pummeled by many other characters in the trailer as well. So I assume they're going to be just some sort of minions or henchmen type characters. So they look cool. Another henchman type characters that we see are the zombie monster type things. They're kind of like zombie mummies. I don't know what you would call them necessarily. But again, I don't think of a name oh, this might be this character. The only thing that I can think of is maybe this is some sort of an illusion that Mysterio creates when you travel to Egypt. Maybe Mysterio creates these mummies that you have to battle. And we do see them appear a couple of times. So I'm not certain who these henchmen are working for or anything like that. But we do know that they're in the game, and I assume just like any other LEGO game that we've seen before, usually the henchmen end up being playable characters as well. You can unlock them in the hub world, so I'm sure this will be no different here either. Now, the final topic we're going to touch on, or the final characters that we're going to touch on, are going to be Kang. Now, we see the big glowing head at the end, which looks interesting. It also kind of makes me think of what Kang they're going for, because the Kang that I'm thinking of, like, you know, the classic looking Kang, wouldn't just have a Lego headpiece. Like, the way I would design him would be more with the helmet. You know, he would have his actual helmet. In fact, like, we've seen him in the games have a helmet. He didn't, at least from what I recall, I don't remember seeing him without the helmet in a prominent Lego game. So from what I remember him in Lego Marvel's Avengers, he had like the proper helmet and the classic, you know, green and pink or green and purple, whatever you want to call it, outfit. So because of that, it kind of makes me question, like, what is this headpiece? Because it looks a lot different than what you would expect from Kang. I guess the only thing you would consider here is that maybe that's just Kang without his helmet, so that's why he's appearing the way that he is. Or maybe he's just a very big fan of Snoke, so he's just trying to be like Snoke and be a ginormously absolutely ridiculous hologram. Now, the other character that brought a lot of speculation was, we have this one moment where we see Groot or baby Groot just about to be crushed by a giant, enormous, massive character whom many people are saying would be the Sentinels. Now, I hope it is the Sentinels, because if the Sentinels will be playable, that would be awesome. We saw them appear in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. They weren't playable, but you could fight them, which was awesome. I'd love to see a playable Sentinel, but to me, I also have a kind of a bit of a feeling like that might actually be a giant version of Kang or something like that. Because if you look and you stop at that moment and look at the picture, it's very blurry. Obviously, it's not particularly easy to tell what you're looking at, but it almost looks sort of like Kang's helmet, and you see kind of like a bluish skin undertone, which would somewhat fit, you know, the Kang design. So because of that, I almost wonder maybe that is just a giant version of Kang and not actually the character that we think of, which is the Sentinels. Again, I'm not certain on that one, so that one is very speculative at this moment, but I would love to hear your opinions down in the comment section below. Please let me know, who do you think that character is? As always, thank you guys so very much for watching today's video. Of course, if you guys enjoyed, please don't forget to hit that like button. Let's aim for 1,500 likes, and hopefully we can reach that goal. I will hopefully catch each and every single one of you lovely folks here on the next one. Peace out. I'll see you later, alligators. Bye, everyone. So, this is awkward, but I guess maybe he was hiding that well, because after all, he is Spider-Man Noir. But yeah, we also got the confirmation of Spider-Man Noir being in the game, which is awesome. Very cool. We're getting a lot of really great Spider family members in this title.